Hi! If you don't know who the tall vampire lady is, then you haven't been on the internet lately, because she is stepping all over the- she's all over the internet. So basically this whole obsession started a while ago when Resident Evil's new trailers came out. And the new Resident Evil Village game features a character of Lady Dimitrescu. I know there are several I can't speak. I know there are several articles online on how to pronounce the name, but I'm gonna stick with the Romanian pronunciation since it's all Romanian inspired, so I'm gonna stick with what Romanians have to say. So it's Lady Dimitrescu to me. She's a 9'6" vampire sort of lady living in a castle with her daughters. And not gonna lie, I'm not a gamer. I freaking hate horrors. I hate jump scares. Generally speaking, all this morbid shit is not appealing to me. Well, Lady Dimitrescu, on the other hand, is stop it, you're straight. Anyway, I just thought it's really an interesting internet culture phenomenon. Oh, I have a hole. Oh no, my poor vintage dress. Not to mention a great meme. And every time I saw the tall vampire lady on YouTube or on Instagram somewhere, all I could think about was her iconic look, obviously. So today we're gonna break it down and attempt to figure out the inspirations behind it, because it's obviously very vintage/historical inspired. So I looked up numerous interviews with the designer, and he himself said that there are elements of the Great Depression era incorporated into the overall design. And truth be told, upon laying my eyes on the tall vampire lady for the first time, I did notice a lot of 1930s inspiration. And if I was to assign the character to a particular time period, I would probably say 1930s. That's the hint that I get from the hair and makeup, the pleat at the back of her dress, and some accessories. So I did a lot of research and I watched all of the Lady Dimitrescu footage, because I'm obviously not gonna play the game because I don't want to die of a heart attack. I watched all the cutscenes, all the meme compilations, and boy, y'all are dirty. And I read articles on it, and I came up with the possible inspiration. And it turned out to be all useless, because there actually is a single particular 1930s photo that is quite literally Lady Dimitrescu. I first saw it in the Cosplay Central article, but it's possible that it was unearthed earlier by someone else, I'm not sure. Anyway, it's clearly a very similar, if not identical dress, paired with a big black hat and gloves. And judging by the length of the dress combined with the hat, it's a designer evening wear piece. And it actually says so under the picture, except it's in Norwegian, I guess. So we have this slightly raised waistline, which is typical 1930s style, and we have the square neckline, the long sleeves, and the front gathering. There is also a sort of a short pleated cape at the back of the dress, which gives off 1930s vibes as well. And the back of the skirt features a set of small fabric covered, I think, buttons. Again, a very typical 1930s feature. So overall, a lot of 1930s elements and styles and trends dumped together to create this outfit. However, in my personal opinion, if you look at the tall vampire lady, not everything about her silhouette screams 1930s. She's curvy. You know, a typical 1930s silhouette was not that. It was feminine, true, but it was, I mean, no offense to Hollywood 1930s movie stars, but they had no ass. What is this video? So she's curvy and the dress is very tight, as we all know. That's what people love about her. And also the skirt has a bell shape at the bottom. Is that what you call it? A mermaid shape skirt. Basically it's tight around the thighs and then it gets wider. Can someone please bring my English back? And it also has a train, so it all looks slightly more Edwardian than 1930s. And I have a solution to that. Like, I know what inspiration combines both 1930s and Edwardian and being curvy. So a very strong visual hint that I personally get from Lady Dimitrescu is Mae West. Mae West was a 1930s actress with a very strong screen presence. She basically created her own character type, her own acting style even. She also started her film career when she was almost 40, which was very unusual at the time, and it kind of still is. And she played glamorous, sexy women. She was curvy, she was confident, and she was very controversial. So hear me out. Some of her most famous roles were those in sort of like historical comedy films that were set in the Belle Epoque era. And because of that, her iconic look is a huge hat and a very like curve-hugging floor-length dress. Like literally if you Google Mae West, that's the look you're gonna get. Not even like your typical 1930s day wear. It's more like the glamorous Belle Epoque vixen. And I'm gonna say not only the outfit, but also the way Lady Dimitrescu carries herself. The way she speaks.
Oh, be careful what you wish for.
Even her face give off some major Mae West vibes to me. So judging by that, it looks like we have a 1930s Das Belle Epoque situation here. And considering that Lady Dimitrescu is apparently sort of an immortal being, it makes sense that the outfit is like a mashup of several different styles. So apparently when creating the character, the game creators were also heavily inspired by a Japanese urban legend, Hachi Shakusama, which is a spirit taking a form of an extremely tall woman, and she is typically depicted in a long white dress and a big white hat. So to me, it looks like that designers were looking for a 1930s look that will fit that particular Hachi Shakusama-like character. Like something that will work for both. Lady Dimitrescu's hair and makeup is definitely 1930s inspired as well, except makeup is maybe a little darker than it would be when worn by an elegant 1930s middle-aged woman, which I guess works for a literal vampire. There is a certain element of her outfit that seems to me like it's an homage? Fromage? Homage, okay. To Breakfast at Tiffany's, which is the long cigarette holder, I think. While it was already a trend in 1930s, it hasn't really become a fashion item until the 1960s, which is when the iconic Audrey Hepburn look was created. And you can also note the cigarette holder plus the big hat combo that Lady Dimitrescu also pulls off. When it comes to other accessories, she's wearing an elegant jewelry set, mostly made up of pearls, which were again definitely a big trend in the 30s. And there is also a black, I think, flower on her dress, which looks like a corsage. Now, a corsage was a decorative piece worn on the side of the dress, and while it's a trend I would say is more iconic for the 1940s, it was already becoming a thing in like late or second half of the 30s. So all in all, Tall Vampire Lady's outfit is surprisingly historically accurate. I would say for an even more historically accurate look, she could be wearing a more conical 1930s style bra, but that would take away a lot of the mommy appeal, which I think increases the simp friendliness of her character. So considering that she's a video game character and those are famous for being a little bit spiced up, I'd say it's a pretty nice 1930s inspired vampire you have got there. Is there a problem? Anyway, that's all I have to say about her, and I don't even know how to end this. Like, I'm not even sure if I should post this video, to be honest. Like, what am I doing? Let's get back to sewing after that, because this shit is weird.